Hello everybody! Welcome to my second Let's Play. This is going to be a Wario World. I am going to be working on this in between my Let's Play of Donkey Kong 64, as this is a much shorter game, and it'll be something different to give you guys. But I think this is a very unique, underrated game, so it deserves more attention. But long ago, there was an evil black jewel that fed on the wishes of people, turning their desires into power. This dark jewel gave birth to many evil spirits who then tormented the good creatures of the world. Then, just when it seemed like the evil spirits would overrun the land, the spritlings of the sacred forest ensnared the black jewel and hid it away deep within their ancient ruins. But over time, these events were all forgotten, and one day, a greedy treasure hunter stole the jewel from the ruins. Ooh, free at last! I'm chock full of power. I think I'll turn all this greedy sap's jewels into evil spirits. Wahahaha! So, for a little backstory. And Wario's cackling maniacally. Being the lovable jackass he is, surrounded by his treasure. And in this moment, he realizes that he fucked up. So, the black jewel has escaped and has thrown us into a void. Actually, no. Welcome to Wario World. This is a very wacky game, but it is very fun. We're going to enter this world, and I will tell you about all these elements. They throw a few things at us. We will find out what the significance of these hearts means, but at each level, there's a little sign here. Our to-do list: whip the boss, grab red diamonds, get the heart fragment, nab gold statues, and get back my stuff. Find all the treasure. I'm going to explain this more as we enter our first level of the game, Greenhorn Forest. So this is our basic tutorial level, our intro. So, to climb up this tree, it's a good idea to look around, because as we mentioned, there are treasures to look for. Look for a colored button like this pink one, that corresponds to the same colored platform to reveal a treasure chest. Punch it and collect it. When you collect treasures, as it says, you can activate games for transfer to your Game Boy Advance. Unfortunately, I cannot do this and show off the mini-games, but it is a nice little feature that they added if you do get all the treasures collected. What is this? Wario, hi! I've been waiting for you. I'm one of the spritlings of the forest. I have really bad news. That evil black jewel you stole is sucking up all the negative green energy swirling around in your castle, and terrible things are starting to happen. Honest. If you want to survive, press the A button to jump and the B button to punch. Also, press the B button to pick up and hurl KO'd monsters. Practice up, okay? Yeah. There are five spritlings, hidden around each level. They give hints. These are gold statue pieces. Collect these to get heart fragments. So that little platform we encountered, whenever you collect all 8 of the gold statue pieces in a level, then you get half a heart. So, if you get all the gold statue pieces for the 2 levels in each world, then you get a full heart. I should also just quickly explain the layout of each world. There are 2 levels per world, with bosses, smaller bosses at the end of each world, and at the end of each world, there is a bigger boss to defeat. But we'll get to what happens when you defeat the bigger boss a bit later. So yeah. I should also mention there are 8 of these treasures, and they're color-coded like the rainbow. So it goes red, red, yellow, light yellowy green, a light blue, purple, and magenta. So, listen, eventually you're gonna have to deal with a stone doohickey that sits on the goal. To get rid of it, you've got to collect a certain number of red diamonds. Below every ground hatch is a sublevel that holds one. Jump and then press the R button to do a ground pound. You can crash through most hatches this way. For this area, you only need 3 diamonds. And we'll explain that more later, but here's another important feature. Garlic! Don't you love garlic? Delicious garlic restores health. Listen, you big oaf, if you've got the courage to take me on, I guess it's okay to sell you garlic. So, to get health, we just simply punch this guy, and he'll charge us the required amount of coins, 20 in this case. So, here's one of our trapdoors. So by entering, they'll present us with different challenges. These are the red diamonds, and you need these to meet the bosses. It is very important to go through as many trapdoors as you can, because each level that we come across, or at least each world that we progress to, you will need more and more red diamonds to face the boss. I should also mention just quickly, as you may have noticed, enemies will drop coins, and they don't have much of a purpose beyond if you die. You can, it is very easy to revive, you just have to pay a certain amount of coins. That's really the only purpose they serve, though. But it is really satisfying to punch enemies and get a lot of damage done. Wario, are you using the B button correctly? First, hold down the B button for a dash attack. Just face the direction you want to dash and then charge. One more thing. While holding a monster above your head, hold down the B button and then release it for a mega toss. This is great for KOing monsters that can survive ordinary throws. Yeah, I might as well show off some of the moves here. So if you press and hold B, perform a dash. And you can't punch an enemy while they're red like that. We can first do a pile driver by pressing A, and then pressing the B button. So that is very useful for ground pounding. And then if you swing the control stick around a few times, you can do a wild swing thing. This is very useful for taking out groups of enemies. And eventually, after you've pressed on the control stick enough times, it'll start to you'll start to automatically perform the wild swing game without needing to hold the joystick. There's also, if you pick up a large enemy and you press and hold B, you will start to throw the enemy. You'll build up a bit of a charge, and that will allow you to throw the enemy and potentially kill it with that throw. It doesn't always work. I will demonstrate in a minute to give you a better idea of what I mean. And those bunny springs, when you ground pound, they take you a bit higher. So let's demonstrate with you. Press and hold B, you get a charge throw. So useful. Kills most enemies, but some bigger ones aren't immediately killed. Yeah. For now, the puzzles are fairly simple. They get a lot more complicated later. Great. So, it is always good to look around each nook and cranny, especially if you're trying to complete this game 100%. Because if you don't go that way, you'll miss the button and won't be able to collect the treasure. So, it is very important to keep an eye out in this game for the switches and the colored pads for the treasure chests. Yeah. Also, backtracking in moments like that is can be helpful. Just, again, keeping an eye out and paying attention to the surroundings. This is one of the more complex minigames. These are glue globes, which, as you can see, you will stick onto when you grab them. I just made that look easy, but you want to rotate Wario so that he goes through one of the open gaps. Basically, as a kid, you had to actually time your jump, but no, there was a much easier solution all along. So, it can be a bit tricky to get the hang of. Oh. I also forgot to mention, if you are holding down the L button, you can suck up coins Wario's mouth, as you saw. So. And you've already come across a few of the types of enemies. There's the smaller ones, there's the flying enemies like these guys, the bigger enemies with the club, and then a bigger variant of the small enemies that we've seen. So, there's one more type that we haven't encountered yet. And it shows up in the end of the level. Frankly, I don't bother taking them on for a good reason. Careful, Wario. All the cliffs and deep chasms around here are really, really dangerous. If you fall, you'll land in Unithorn's lair. Scary. You'll lose coins as long as you're in Unithorn's lair, so if you fall in, you'd better hurry up and find the escape spring before you go broke. So, that will be explained to us now. So when you fall in this game, you're in Unithorn's lair. You have to punch open the crates until you find the escape spring. And most of them will contain bombs. Only one will contain the spring you need to escape. If you fall in the water or get shaken around by a Unithorn, you'll lose coins. Hey, there's the goal, Wario. If you found enough red diamonds, the stone doohickey blocking the way will vanish. If not, the bye-bye balloons can take you back to the start point. Up ahead, the diamonds you need will appear more frequently. If you want to know how many you have, just press start or pause and check your inventory screen. Okay? Okay. I might as well show that off. So. This is the inventory screen. It's quite easy to understand. Tells you the name of the world and the level you're in, the treasures and how many you've collected, the badges or stamps, and the spritlings. So, and then on the right here it shows you how many gold statue pieces you've collected, how many red or gem pieces you've collected, and how many pieces are required to complete the level, along with your coin count, your heart count, and the option to return to the courtyard. So, these bye-bye balloons will take you back to the start of the level if you so need it, or they can also take you to a midway point. If you need to go back to the start of the level, generally it'll take you to the start of the level. If you need to go to a point in the midpoint, it'll just take you there. I don't know why I messed that up. Rotate this block so that the upper part of the L faces this way. So, yeah, that's most of the basics of this first level, what it introduces to us. There are a few more things that the second level introduces. But what I like about this game is that it's not afraid to be weird and wacky and introduce some odd concepts, which is par for the course of Wario. That's why I like this game, and I really wish there were a sequel made, but not a lot of people know about it. Alright. These minis, and there we got a badge. So, yay, we have half a heart. Those spike balls become very annoying to deal with. And this was the other enemy I was talking about. It'll shoot, yeah, it'll retract into its shell if you start punching it. So, very annoying to deal with. You can also, oh yes, do the corkscrew prong by dashing, and then at the end of your turn, pressing the A button. So, that's all the treasures, so now all we have left to do is face the boss. Go on top of the stone doohickey here. Now for the first boss of the game. And here we go. Funnily enough, I'm pretty sure this guy does have a name, but I can't remember, so we'll just call him Green Donkey Kong. He will go into a rage when he turns red and chase you around. But just punch the crap out of him out of the way from the attacks, and just make sure you do pile drive or good throw, or wild sweeping. But he does get faster every time he turns red, every time you take out a piece of his health. So, be aware of that. I can't believe I actually avoided that, because I usually get hit on the last phase. I would suggest performing tight circles around them like I did. Yeah, boss defeat. Might actually be called Green Vista. think about it, but the game never refers to him by anything, so. Here we go. And then based on how many enemies you punch throughout the level, you'll get a specific amount of coins as a little reward. So. Now that we've exited the level, shows us our completed gold statue, and we gain half a heart. So yay! There's the first level. So, I will get to the next level in the upcoming video. But before I end this video for today, I'm going to explain one more feature of the game. This is, I'm just going to call it the treasure courtyard. And it has a big treasure chest, which holds the black jewel. There are 4 parts of a big key that is required to unlock it, and that is what you receive by beating the final boss of each world. So you get 1 part of the key by defeating each boss. And then down here is where these icons will show up when you've collected all the treasures from a world. You would punch the, if you had a Game Boy Advance, Wario World, and the link cable to connect your GameCube to the Game Boy Advance, you could punch it and it would take you to a minigame. So, very interesting feature and rewarding feature that they offered you if you had the link cable and the game. So, anyways, that's gonna do it for this part of Let's Play Wario World. I hope you guys have a good night. Take care.